Which celebrity have you lost total respect for and why? Allison Mack from Smallville. She was a leader in a cult that exploited women and made them sex slaves. Currently in prison. Chris Brown. The whole "he hit Rihanna" thing was downplayed in the media. Read the actual police report and you'll see that he tormented and even attempted to kill her. And this man is still walking and making music and garnering fans. Really does make me sick. Danny Masterson. Thought he was cool but later found out he is a higher up in Scientology and got away with raping the wife of Cedric Bixler Zavala, singer of the Mars Volta, and poisoned 2 of his dogs. Masterson has, I'm pretty sure, 4 women. And he is not only a rapist, he is a violent rapist. Violent. All the were covered up by Scientology, and the women silenced plus punished within the Scientology organization. Charges have since been brought against him, but he is such a horrible, horrible human being that I not only won't watch that 70s show in reruns, when it comes on my TV I cannot change the channel fast enough. O.J. Simpson. He was so clearly phoning in his performance in The Naked Gun 33 1/3, and didn't do Nordberg justice. I was so put off that I completely stopped following his career after that. The more I hear about this OJ guy, the more I think he's a real jerk. Elizabeth Moss, how do you play the main character in a show like The Handmaid's Tale, yet practice Scientology in your personal life? I don't get it. She was born into it and refuses to discuss it in interviews. When your whole family is in a cult, and you have your career because of the cult, you're not going to be likely to publicly distance yourself. ETA, I think it's also important to remember that the experience of celebrities in Scientology is entirely different from the experience of normals in Scientology. Leah Remini goes into this a great deal in Aftermath, especially a cult that tortures people for raising a stink. At 13 I thought Onision was alright. Ha 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 ha, God, was I wrong. I've lost all respect for him and more. Onision probably thought you were alright at 13 as well. Whenever I begin to judge today's youth for the content they watch, I often remind myself that younger me watched Onision and I get humbled pretty quickly. That dude was cool until he said he was getting his daughter checked for her virginity. He and his wife been accused of kidnapping and rape as well by multiple women. Only color that matters is green, or whatever color the currency is in your country. Wealth is what really separates us. Ian Watkins of Lost Prophets. I feel like saying losing respect doesn't do this justice. Yeah, maybe I should have put lost respect but also wanted to see him die a fiery death. The court documents are fucking disgusting and NSFL. Nick Cannon. Fuck Nick Cannon. Dave Chappelle. I think the list of ones I haven't lost respect for would be shorter. Weird Al is one. Never a controversy or ill word spoken that I know of. I've heard a couple people say they took their kids to see Weird Al and he met with every single one of them and genuinely cared about each interaction to the point where his manager would be trying to force him to leave but he wouldn't until he met with every single person that wanted to meet him. Weird Al was my first concert. He called me the next day to wish me a happy birthday. I'm still utterly furious at Mason Greenwood. Edit, Manchester United footballer whose girlfriend published evidence of him beating, abusing, and threatening her with rape last weekend. Quite pleased to see how quickly everyone turned on him. Even in threads of die-hard United fans I didn't see anyone remotely defending him. Yep, pretty unanimous. Hard not to when the evidence was that damning. The cynical side of me wonders how much she would have been believed without the photos and recording. Closest I really saw to a defense was someone saying that from a legal perspective the photos aren't definitive proof it was him, and that the recording could have been role play of some sort. Their point was less in support of him and more this is how his legal team could approach it if he doesn't plead guilty, and it's not unheard of for it to work. Bill Cosby. He wasn't like Cliff Huxtable at all. This one still stings me as a dad now. I think of some of the greatest scenes in his show, Teaching Budget to Theo, the scene where he feeds the kids cake for breakfast. The humor and joy and life lessons in his show are forever stained. I see it as the legacy of the writers who created the character, not the actor playing him. That's a good way to look at it. Thank you for this perspective. Jared Leto. Huge piece of shit. He seems absurdly self-obsessed. My friends and I went to Warped Tour in 2006 and stood in line for 2 hours to get autographs from 30 Seconds to Mars. We're 14 years old. We finally make it to their booth and Jared says he's only signing 30 Seconds to Mars merch. I decline to buy any. My friend buys a CD to get that signed. Jared goes to open the CD and breaks the case in the process. The rest of the band signed whatever we wanted. He's a total prick. Madonna. Ever since I found out she dumped her 3 chihuahuas at a dodgy kill shelter and one of them died after having its face mauled while the other 2 were basically starving by the time they were rescued. She was literally Madonna. She could have found them a good home. Or literally hired someone just to care for them. Conor McGregor punching old cunts. He punched the old cunt, bought the local bar and banned him from entering. Mariah Carey is a complete cunt to food service workers. I know a restaurant owner who used to go own a celebrity hangout in NYC and he said Jennifer Lopez was the worst guest he's ever served, celebrity or not. She was ridiculously rude and arrogant and by the end of the night, he and his entire staff hated her. Can confirm, I used to work for the Dodgers when she would come in with A-Rod and the staff there were not allowed to speak to her directly, only her assistant. Gwyneth Paltrow, Goop. The medical information, that's just wrong. The $100 vagina candle. The recipes, it's just nonsense and she's not a bad actress. My favorite is the tweet of her drinking alkaline water every morning with a spritz of lemon in it, meaning she's taking the pH right back to neutral where all water is lol. Oh, is that why my boss drinks branded alkaline water? She's obsessed with it and I'm just like, well, I guess I missed the next crazy trend. Darn. Edit. Honestly, how do people care about the pH of their water and not the fact that it might have lead or something in it? I feel like people jump on these well-branded trends backed by pseudoscience, when we have hard science standing on top of a car waving their hands like you have lead in your water. Do something about it. Nah, I'll just make it alkaline. That should solve all my problems.